So the last couple of days have probably been some of the hardest of my life. Joey has been in hospital for 9 days. I thought I wasn't going to cry in today's video, but literally just, yeah. JJ! JJ! Hey! Hey. So the last 9 days, Joey has been in hospital. He came home last night, so I'm really happy that he's back. I wanted to make today's video because obviously I've shared my whole equestrian journey with you guys, and unfortunately this is part of our story. A lot of you probably have also experienced maybe something similar to this, so also you guys love Joey so much, and so do I, and I know that you guys probably wanted to make sure that you know what's happening and all that kind of stuff. The last few days I've been a bit of a mess, and that's why it's taken me a while to make today's video, because obviously I want to update you guys on everything that's happened, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to ride Joey again, or if I am able to ride him, how long until then. So I wanted to make it just to update you guys on everything and tell the story, I guess, of what's happened to Joey. So, yeah, it was just like a normal Sunday. I was out on a dog walk, and I was literally like just coming home, and I came up to the yard, and the first thing I saw was my mum running with loads of towels, and she said, "Esme, quick, Joey's been in an accident, he's really, really hurt." So we don't really know too much what happened. My dad was up at the yard, but obviously when you're up at the yard you can't really see the fields, but he could hear the horses like zooming around going crazy, so he obviously ran down to see what was happening, and he just thought it was going to be them like horsing around like the horses do out in the field. And that was when he saw Joey limping and just blood everywhere. So I don't really know what happened, if he hurt himself on a fence. Like, we just have normal post and rail going around. It's a field that the horses have been in and the donkeys have been in for years and years. And anyway, so as soon as Dad saw, he went and grabbed a head collar, put it on Joey, and as soon as like Joey was with my dad, like he like put his head in the head collar and just stood still. Casper was zooming around going absolutely crazy, not making things easy for us. But yeah, so as soon as Joey was with my dad, he knew that something was wrong. He knew that he was there to help him, led him up to the yard, and then yeah, by the time I got to the yard, which was literally only 2 minutes after whatever happened, it was just honestly blood everywhere. I'll try not to talk too much about the gory stuff, but I literally came up here, and when my mum told me that Joey was hurt, like my heart sunk. But then when I got up here and I saw the chaos of my mum with towels trying to wrap it around Joey's leg, and my dad doing everything he could to stop the blood, and just the blood everywhere, like I just burst into tears. And that was when I thought, oh my gosh, I could lose Joey. So yeah, we luckily, after quite a few minutes went by and a lot of blood, we managed to stop the bleeding. Joey was so well behaved, like he knew that something was wrong. He was just standing there still, like, please just help me. And I called the vet, and the vet came. We managed to stop the blood, and then she looked at everything. And for a while, because Joey was limping so bad, I don't know if in the distress of him catching himself or whatever, he like kicked his back legs with his front legs. So there were for a little while we thought, oh my gosh, what if he's like broken one of his legs, because on one of his back legs where he only had like a tiny little graze, he properly like did not want anyone touching it, didn't want it like to put weight on it or anything like that. So it was his front left leg that was the worst, with the cut that we were trying to stop bleeding. and the vet came up, and that's when everything started to calm down a little bit more. And I could tell that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because the reason why I knew that Joey's leg wasn't broken was because there was a bit of haylage left in Mickey's stable. We were standing out here in the yard, and he started like not walking towards it, but he was like kind of shuffling / stretching out for the haylage, because we had to wait for the vet for a little bit because it was a Sunday and it was an emergency call. But she was so good, and she checked him over, and we took off all the bandages that we makeshift managed to do for him, and so I started to feel a little bit better then, thinking, okay, he's not broken his leg, maybe it's not going to be fatal. And then she looked at all the cuts, and there was one that she thought was quite close to where his tendons were, so that was kind of like, oh no, because it's obviously if a horse gets a cut in a tendon, that can be really bad too. So we loaded him up into the horse box. He was as good as gold. Took him to the vets, and then we had to leave him there. And the next few sort of hours after that, while they were checking him over, doing loads of scans and things, making sure, like checking that also that wound that was a little bit too close to the tendons for the vet's liking. And then we got the call back that luckily he hadn't cut his tendon. It was like a millimetre away. He was so lucky on so many different things. Like, he was lucky that we were here at the yard, because if we weren't here, then he probably would have bled to death or bled out. And he was also so lucky that he didn't catch a tendon either. So he's been at the vets for 9 days, because he had to be in for a long time to make sure that he was getting all the antibiotics that he needed. So he had like these like a needle in his neck, so they could easily administrate that. He's now on to oral antibiotics, so that's why he's now home. He's on painkillers as well, and he's having his the vet's coming back here to change his dressings where he's got all of his wounds, because Joey really did make a mess of himself. There are quite a few cuts in different places, but it's mainly his front left leg that's really bad. When he was discharged, the vets are pretty happy with most of his cuts, apart from one that's in quite a difficult place to heal, because obviously when he moves, that kind of moves. But yeah, so while he was at the vets, I went and visited him every time there was visiting hours, twice a day, in the morning and then in the afternoon, evening as well. And I'd come and give him loads of treats and hugs and groom him. And it was also like, it was kind of a waiting game as well, because we weren't sure if, those cuts were going to get infected, if the antibiotics that he was getting were working. Because something that also like shook me up a little bit, there was a horse in there for a similar reason, and that cut got infected, and they were having troubles with antibiotic resistance. And the whole time Joey was in the vets, it wasn't like he was out of the woods yet. There was still a chance that it could all go wrong. And I just feel so lucky and so grateful that he's now home. And he's back with Mickey next door. So what we've been doing, because Joey doesn't like being on his own, and obviously he's going to have to be on box rest for quite a while. And it's lucky that it's all happened in the winter, so the horses don't mind being in as often. So Mickey and Casper have been sort of like a tag team at the moment, Mickey's been spending the mornings in here, and Casper's been spending the afternoons, just so then Joey has someone here to keep him company, because obviously horses are herd animals. And it's so important for me that my horses get to be horses, and it's just really unlucky that we've had a freak accident like this in my whole time of owning horses and donkeys and things. We've never had anything happen like this before, and I don't want it to put me off putting my horse. Like, I feel like I just want to wrap them up in bubble wrap and keep them safe, but the horses have got to be horses. I think it's so important that they have time out in the field, and I'm just so lucky that Joey's still with us today. If you told me, that Sunday evening where he first went into the hospital, that he was going to make it through, I'd just be so grateful. So it's at kind of like the stage where I don't care if I can never jump him again or if I can never ride him again. I'm just so glad that he's still here. At the moment he's still pretty lame, so it's just kind of a waiting game at the moment to see if, he's going to make a full, complete recovery or not. But I'm just so glad that he's still here. So that's kind of what's happened, I guess. I'm sorry I've been a bit of a mess throughout this video, but you know, my horses are like my children. Yeah, it's not been a fun last few days, but I'm just so relieved that he's home and he seems like his normal Joey self, eating as always, you know, looking for treats at any opportunity, loving all the cuddles and kisses and hugs and grooms, and I've just been spending a lot of time with him as much as I possibly can between working and just being here with him and keeping him company, or going to the hospital and keeping him company. And I just want to also say a huge thank you to all of the vets and vet nurses and the whole of the team that have looked after Joey while he's been in hospital and given him the best possible care. I'm very, very grateful that he's been in such good hands, so thank you. And hopefully in my next video I'm not as much of a mess that I am right now. You know, it was quite a while ago now. As I said, he's been in hospital 9 days, but it's still, every time I think about it, it makes me really upset. It just brings me back to when I was standing here in the yard and seeing him in that much pain. And yeah. So anyway, if you guys have any tips on horses on box rest and how to keep them occupied and happy, or anything that you've done that helps, then let me know in the comments below, please. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Joey, hey. It's now a few days later, and I didn't want to end the video on a really sad note of me crying, because my channel is all about like making people happy. It's a happy, safe place for people to go to when watching my videos, and although like I needed to make today's video to let you guys know what's happened and I wanted to be real with you, I also want today's video, you know, to have a bit of hope at the end. So Joey actually had the vet over again yesterday. They're very happy about the way he's healing at the moment, so just fingers crossed. Of course he's gonna have the winter off, he's gonna have a nice chilled time, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But I thought I would talk to you a little bit more about Joey's routine and what it's like having a horse on box rest. So if you couldn't tell already, it's the afternoon because we have little Casper here. I say little Casper, he actually seems really big because I've been so used to seeing Mickey in this stable. He seems a lot bigger. He's a little bit grumpy because he's just run out of haylage. He's just finished his food, so I do need to get these boys some more food to keep them happy. Joey here, we've been distracting him in lots of different ways. The first thing we've actually done, which I feel like has helped him the most, is we've blocked out his window at the back so he can't see the horses out in the field. I think, like, psychology wise, he's a lot happier when he just thinks, okay, Casper or Mickey is here with me, you know, that's all that's going on. If he can see the other horses out in the field, I feel like he would just feel sad and, you know, unhappy that he wasn't out there playing with them. So that's helped quite a bit. We've also been giving him lots of food. So basically all the things that I do in basically all the things I do in food battle, we've done with the horses to keep them happy. As you can see, Joey is being his normal happy self, trying to sniff for treats and, you want to eat my hat? Is that what you want to do, or do you want to give me kisses? But he's still very cuddly, very affectionate, and I think that was the one thing that sort of helped me keep going, is just he's just his normal Joey self. He just has a bit of a poorly leg, haven't you, mate? But in himself, you know, he's just normal, wanting food all the time. So talking about food, I'm gonna grab him some, maybe, I don't know what I'm gonna give him today. I like to try and shake it up a little bit. So between, you know, the Silvermoor Grassbix or Brick of Wonder, and he loves his battle ball. We've been giving him his treat ball a lot, which he's been loving. He is an absolute pro of that now, aren't you, mate? We used to give him his ball every time we went and saw him at the vets, so we'd give him his ball just before we would leave, so then, you know, when we left, it wasn't like we were leaving, he had something to distract him. So he's been loving that. But anyway, should we get you guys some snackies? I think that's a good plan, hey? And of course, Joey loves still being right next to the feed room. You always get the treats first, don't you, mister? All right, Jojo, here are some treats. I've also been doing a lot of like carrot stretches and things with him, just because obviously he can't move around too much. He can only kind of like walk around his stable. Just keeping him, you know, a bit like, you know, if you've been sitting on a plane for a long time, you want to have a good old stretch afterwards. So we've been doing lots of stretches with him. And also, this is the window. This is what it's looking like, the sort of makeshift cardboard. But you know what? It seems cruel. He's got a bit of light coming out, but you can't really see what's going on out there. And it just means that he's a lot happier. And that's all that matters. Hey, Jojo. But also, something that I didn't realise, oh my goodness, this boy, I'm sorry to say this, Joey, it's a little bit mean, but your poos at the moment are stinky. They are, because he's on like medication and things and antibiotics and pain relief and that kind of thing. I have never smelt horse poos this bad. Like, it's worth it, Joey, because I love you and I want to make sure that you're nice and happy. So I'm going to stand here by your poo, but it's bad, guys. Like, if you can imagine the worst smelling fart possible, that's what it smells like in here. So every time I do come here, make sure that I give you a little skip out so you've got no poos in here. I do prefer to stand by your door because there's a bit more air coming through, hey? Yeah? Okay, Joey, you got to be patient. No, it's not time yet. It's not time. It's not time. He's getting it all because, go on, in you go. Oh, it's because it's cold, I can't get it on. Joey. Wait. Let me just do a little knot and then you can have it. Joey, be patient. There we go. Done the knot. There we go, good Jojo. Enjoy your swinger. I'm absolutely covered in it. It's like it's been snowing swinger here. I mean, we still have snow outside at the moment. It's been so cold recently. Though I've probably got it all in my hair. So that should probably keep Joey happy. I think a big chunk has literally just gone down onto the ground. Oh no, not that big of a chunk. But that's one of the ways we've been keeping Joey happy. I think we need to get on with Casper as well because, you know, it's got to be fair. Got to have one for you, Casper. Okay. Where can I find the string? Oh yeah, Mickey broke this one. Okay, that's fine.
He broke it.
Oh yeah, he broke it. Wait. Casper is coming, it's coming. So I forgot in this year's food battle, give you guys some spoilers, Casper absolutely demolished the swinger of destiny. So we don't have a bit of rope up there anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a brick of wonder or the Silvermoor grass bix. I'm going to pop it in here and I can give it to you. Yes. Hey. All right, back it up. I'm taking the haylage net down since he's finished that. There we go, Casper. You can enjoy your little brick of wonder. Also, I've just realised, because I have name-dropped Silvermoor, I do really like their products, and this isn't like an ad or anything like that. I'm not being paid to say this in this video. They give me some stuff for free very kindly, but I don't want people to think, oh my goodness, Esme's gone and done an ad on a video where her horse has almost died and is severely injured. So just thought I'd put that out there. I'm not that gal. I just, like my friend Lydia, when her horse was on box rest for ages, I genuinely recommended these because, as you can see, it's just like, Casper, you're really struggling to get in there. I've never used it with the net before yet, and you're loving it, aren't you, mister? But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other alternatives or any other things that are good for box rest, because any tips would help, because I've never had a horse properly on box rest before. Like Casper and Mickey have had abscesses where they've had to be in, or have like their hoof wrapped, but never anything as long as poor little Joey's having to go through. Hey, Casp. He's just happy. He's chilled. Oh my goodness. It's in your face. Thank you. It's literally all over your face. Hey. Well, he looks very happy, very content. I think Joey's going to be very fluffy and maybe a little bit more on the chunky side by the end of winter from all the treats and love and attention and cuddles and snacks he's been getting. Oh, thank you. But to be fair, he's been taking box rest really well. He hasn't been too bored or distressed or angry. He just thinks, oh, it's winter, like it's snowing outside. It must have been really weird for him when we led him out of the vets, because it didn't snow beforehand, but then when we let him out, there was snow everywhere. So it must have been like, hold the phone. What's happened here? What's all this white stuff? Thank you, Joey. But anyway, he's content. He's happy. If you guys have any other box rest tips or tricks for keeping horses entertained, I don't know if I can like use some sort of like dog, not treats, I was gonna say treats then. You know, like snuffle mats and things like that. And like people have like these like little things that they stick on the bathtub and put peanut butter on. I'm wondering if I can do that with like something for horses, maybe like applesauce, or I don't know, that might have a bit too much sugar in, but something for Joey to keep occupied with. You missed a little bit here, fella. There's some snacks here. Okay, he's happy down there, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it's good news from the vets for this man, and I'll keep you updated. But for now, I'm sure the doctor has ordered, or the vet has ordered, lots of treats. Hey, mister.